Hello, welcome to your Zoom orientation video. My name is Dani Joy, and I'm going to be walking you through some of the specifics about how to get the most out of your Zoom experience. Well, first off, you see how this screen moves all around like this? That's called a floating screen. So my Zoom screen is this that's inside of this floating square. So everything I'm going to be referencing will have to do with what's inside of the gray square. Most important things first. Bottom left corner, you have your mute button. Now, I'm not muting because I'm recording my audio on a separate device, but usually it will be muted on the screen. So if we say, oh, you're muted, go to the bottom left corner of your screen and click your unmute button. Stop video or start video. I can turn that off and on. Now, you'll notice that there's two of me here. This one, it's backwards. This one is the participant view, so that would be you as a student. I've made myself large on the screen on purpose. This other one here is the host. So generally my image will be under the host, and so I'm going to show you what it looks like when the host shares the screen as well. Now, all through here, we'll talk about these in just a moment, but most important things first. Top right corner. This is the view option. Right now, it's on speaker view. I'm the only one speaking as a participant, and therefore I am on speaker view. When I spotlight someone as the host, then they become large on everybody's screen. After that happens, you have a couple of options here. So let's pretend like the Starlight is the host and they are spotlighting themselves. So as the host, they're speaking and they're telling you about, welcome to class, everybody, da 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 da. Here is where we're going to share the screen. Before we share the screen, the host is going to record. So I'm going to press record as the host, and this pop-up will appear on your screen. You'll have the option to leave the meeting or say, got it, that you are okay with being recorded. Now, if you do not want your image to be recorded, you can go ahead and turn off your video. We have no problem with that. Of course, it's much easier to see how you're doing if your video is on. So, as the host, I'm going to share my screen and show you what it looks like when I'm sharing music. This is called side by side. Up in the top right corner is your view options. Side by side speaker view. This is the preferred method. My speaker, or the teacher for class, is awfully small, but you see this little divider right here? As soon as I hovered my mouse over the top, it appeared, and I could drag that so I could see what the host is doing with their fingers. If the host is saying, make sure you use these fingers, then you can make me nice and large. And then if you need to go back and look at the music, you can make the music nice and large. So you have control over that. The host does not have control over this. The host is seeing something completely different. If you would like to see the entire class in a side-by-side view, you can go to side-by-side gallery. And there I am in double. If you would like to check out the standard view, this is standard now. Standard has a few options even within itself. I don't recommend the standard, but if you really want to see only the music and you don't mind that the person is made small, you can actually come up here to the smallest little symbol here and it disappears. And so there you can't see any cameras at all, but you can see the music. If I click on the first little box here, then I can just see whoever is spotlighted. In that case, this host. If I want to see two or more people, I can do this. And even as I move this around, you see how it jumps around there like this. But I can move this image around. So we've had a few people in class say, can you move that little picture of you? We cannot, but you surely can. If I want to see the full gallery view in this view, I could do this and all of the participants would pop up. Now up here in the top right corner, you see the little box within a box. If I click on that, it pops the image of the person up large and the music becomes small. If I click it again, it does it again. If I click it again, it does it again. So here's the teacher speaking, blah, blah, blah. If I click it again, the music pops up nice and large. That might be a function that you really like. However, again, up in the view corner, I like to put it on side-by-side speaker view. This is all, of course, from a desktop. There are iPhone and iPad options that are different. I do not encourage you to take your class on an iPhone or an iPad. Get onto a desktop if you're able to so that you have the largest view possible. So you can see it going back and forth here. Now, there's no way of you leaving. You can leave the meeting. If you click here, you're going to leave the meeting, and you're going to need to log back in. But luckily, we don't use a waiting room. We just have a password. So if you accidentally leave the meeting, you can easily come back in without needing any kind of permission. But as soon as the host wants to say, oh, I'll show you up close or something like that, they'll stop sharing. And here we are back again with the host as the spotlighted image. Okay, so now that you know how to use your view option up here in the right corner, which is the most important thing aside from your mute and your start video options, we have a couple of things down here at the bottom. So if I click on participants, I can see a whole list of participants pop off to the right side of the screen. If I hover over one of those, I have the option to mute because that's me. I cannot mute anybody else. So I could mute myself here if I wanted to. Here's, for myself, I can remove the pin. I have pinned myself onto my screen. Nobody else can see the pin but me. Reclaiming host, you won't have that option because you will never be the host, but this computer has been before. But I could rename myself. Portland, Oregon. Rename. And there you go. I am now the participant in Portland, Oregon. I can also come up here and edit my profile picture from here if I wanted to. I could also click on somebody else and send them a private chat message. So if I want to send a chat just to the host, that's one way to do it. I can click it and my chat box pops up. So right here it says that I'm chatting with Dani Joy, direct message, measure 5, let's say. And then for me, it pops up over here on my screen on the bottom. But that's a direct message. If I wanted to click to everybody, I could say, good morning from Portland, Oregon, and everybody's going to see a little chat pop up in the bottom. So anytime I click on the button, that participants panel pops up. If I click on it again, it pops down. So I click, it pops up. I click, it pops down. Chat is the same way. I chat, I unchat. I chat, I unchat. So I'm just clicking it over and over. And again, I can go through and type to anybody I want. Here it's labeled as everyone, but if I click on that, I can choose somebody else specifically. So if you have questions in class, a lot of people like to put their questions in the chat, and Perry or I, who are moderating, will get to the questions. Now, sharing my screen, I have the option to share my screen. Participants usually are not asked to share their screen, so you won't even have to worry about that. Recording, that is usually enabled only for open mic to record yourself. So some participants have requested permission to record themselves so that they could watch their video later and decide if they want to make any improvements or how it went, kind of see how they did from an outside perspective. You're welcome to do that. All of the classes are already going to be recorded and provided to you via a YouTube link, so you won't have to worry about that. Reactions. You can click on that. Something will pop up in the top right corner, and everybody will be able to see your reaction. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. Now, raising your hand, the hand is going to stay up. So generally, as you can see, that other little hand popped off. But the raising of the hand stays up, so you would need to click lower hand if your question has been answered. Apps, I don't even know what that does. Don't worry about that. And whiteboard, we won't need to even use that. So don't even worry about what those say. Finally, we have the leave meeting option. So when I click on leave, it's going to ask me if I want to leave the meeting. So if you leave the meeting accidentally, you can just jump right back on. As I mentioned, we don't have a waiting room on these lessons. We use a password instead. So as long as you have the monthly password, then you can just jump right back into your meeting. Original sound. Now, The Zoom app was created for speakers. Therefore, all of the background noise has been suppressed. Any kind of birds chirping, any kind of dogs barking, little children playing, or clinking dishes has been washed out so that you can only hear the speaking. This means that the ukulele is also usually washed out. And we have an open mic that we do every month that we want to make sure that we can hear you play. So I'd like to show you how to turn on your original sound option. I have purposefully turned mine off so that I can show you how to turn yours on. So over here in the bottom left corner with the mute button, again, there's a little arrow right next to it. When we click this, we have a few options here. Top is just showing us, asking us which microphone we want to use. Typically, the built-in microphone of your computer is the one you choose. Speaker, same thing, same as system. You want to make sure that you can hear. Test speaker and microphone, you can do that if you like. Switch to phone audio, don't worry about that. Leave computer audio, I don't recommend it, but you can if you want to. However, audio settings is where we want to go. Now, at the very top, you can test your speaker, making sure that the volume is all the way up. If you have any trouble hearing us in class, we want to make sure that you first check your speakers before we raise our microphone volume, because everybody has a speaker and everybody has a microphone, and we're going to be working with a lot of variations with participants. So next thing we're going to do is come over here to the microphone option, okay? When you join the meeting, we may ask you to turn down your microphone in case it's blaring above everybody else's, but it will likely be just fine. But this is where you do that. Turn up or down the microphone volume. When we head down here, we're going to keep our suppressed background noise to low. It is likely already labeled as that where you are. And then music and professional audio. Now, show in meeting option to enable original sound. Click on. We want that on. Original sound is the option where we can hear the ukulele. Just remember that. If original sound is on, we can hear your ukulele. If original sound is off, we can only hear your voice. High fidelity music mode, that's a really great option if you have a fantastic internet connection. If not, it's going to cause some glitching, so I usually leave mine off, unfortunately. Echo cancellation on. We need to have the cancellation for the echoes on. What happens if we don't is if somebody comes on and opens up their microphone and they do not have their echo cancellation turned on, then no matter who speaks, we get an echo, 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 echo. So when that happens, we'll usually ask everybody to go into their audio settings and check to make sure that their echo cancellation is turned on. And that is how it's done. So once again, just to make it very clear, audio settings is here with the little arrow. Audio settings, scrolling down, echo cancellation. Everything down here, you have options. Mute my mic when joining a meeting. You can take a look at those and see whichever one feels comfortable to you. Off here to the left, I don't even worry about anything else that's on that panel, so you don't have to worry about it either. All right, so to summarize, you will want to make sure that your microphone is at a decent volume, not too loud, not too quiet. All through your audio settings that can be found. You're going to want to make sure that your speakers on your computer are turned up before you ask anybody else to turn up their microphone, because your speaker volume may just be very low. And finally, make sure that you have your original sound turned on if you want us to be able to hear you play the ukulele. All right, well, that's it for today's tutorial on basic Zoom and orientation. To finish up, we will end this video with just a couple of fun things, but if you're not interested in doing any backgrounds or funny face kind of additions, then you can go ahead and end this video and go check out some of our other orientation videos so that you're ready for Academy classes. Okay, you're still there? Then let's do it. Let's have some fun. We're going to come over here to, well, first off, I'm going to replace the pin. So now I, as a participant, am viewing what I'm going to see. Down here in the stop video option, we have a little arrow. When we click that, we have a couple of options here. We're just going to go ahead and go straight to choose video background. You may have seen some people do this in classes that you've been in. I just chose the blur option. So backgrounds and effects, blur option. And that way, if I didn't have time to clean up, or if I don't want anyone seeing what the inside of my private life looks like, I can go ahead and create a blur. But you will notice that if you're trying to show us something on the ukulele that you're struggling with, you need to make sure that the instrument is close up to the camera and not far away, otherwise it starts to disappear. You can choose from the standard options that they give you here. Laying in the grass with all the bugs. I'm out in space now. And as you can see, it's a little bit choppy because I don't have a green screen behind me. If you really want to do it upright, you can pick up a green screen online, very cheap, and that's an option too. Now, secondary to that, we have Starlight Open Mic that happens every month, and we encourage our participants to use the video filters should they want to. If it lines up with the kind of song that you're playing, you might want to have some fun. You can choose a little dog down in the corner. You can choose to be inside of a television if you're doing an old-fashioned song. Hey, you can put some little fun, cheerful things on your face. You can even have a pizza hat. So you can go through and choose some of these. We did have one student come through and do, I saw a bear over there, and she wore this one, which was pretty fun. In addition to that, Studio Effects gives you a little bit more of a polished option here. This is basically your makeup. So you can put on large eyebrows, and you can have a mustache for your country songs. You can even have a bright green mustache if you really wanted to. And you can also put on lipstick of any color. I could have blue lipstick on. I don't know what song this would work for, but if I wanted my eyebrows to match, I could simply do this, and there you go. So it sticks to the face pretty well, and it's actually kind of fun. If you have a partner there, if you go to give them a kiss and then you come away from the camera real quick, then the filter will stick onto them. So it's ridiculous, but again, we like to have fun around here at the Starlight Open Mic. So that is your options. Again, that was down here with the little click of a button. Choose video filter, and then Studio Effects. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. We are so excited to have you joining us in our online Starlight Ukulele Academy family. And if you have any questions, please email support@starlightukes.com, and someone from our support team will get right back to you. And again, any questions are absolutely welcome. So we're here to help you along your musical journey, and so please don't hesitate if you have any questions. And we'll see you in class. I hope you have a very sparkly day.